Assemblymember Joe Patterson. You're recognized on the resolution.
Thank you very much. December 27th, 2020, Zach Didier, forever 17, was poisoned by fentanyl. But not only did the lives of his family members change, and unfortunately he lost his life, but the lives of many people within Placer County and throughout the state have changed dramatically as well. In fact, Laura Didier and Chris Didier have testified on many pieces of legislation through this building for many of my colleagues here in this chamber, and they have also been to many of your districts educating your constituents on the dangers of fentanyl poisoning. Unfortunately, I'm sure, and I know I've talked with Laura and Chris on many occasions, they would do anything to have Zach back. And I know all the victims and the parents of those victims in your districts would do anything. I wish Laura and Chris did not have to be testifying on my bills or your bills. I wish they didn't have to go to our districts, all of our districts, and talk about the dangers of fentanyl. But I'm thankful they are doing that. And I believe that they're saving thousands of lives. And just to give a little anecdote to that, I have 4 children, in case you haven't heard me say that before. 2 of them, 9 and 7 years old, already know about the dangers of fentanyl. And it's a sad state that we live in, that I had to teach my 9-year-old and my 7-year-old about the dangers of fentanyl, just taking things from your friends, taking things from people you don't know. I firmly believe that there are 3 ways, and I've talked about this a lot, to prevent fentanyl deaths. And one of them is awareness and education, and I believe that's what this resolution is doing today. I believe that's what Laura and Chris have been dedicating their lives to this ever since the tragedy. But also treatment. Treatment, I have legislation on that, and that's been successful, and I appreciate people's support on that. But also holding people accountable. And I just want to give a little example that was given to us by our district attorney in Placer County. And if somebody were to experiment underage and they were drinking a beer, and they grab the can of beer, and they pour it in a cup, or they just drink it from the can, and it ends up being cyanide, you would 100% hope that that district attorney would charge the person that put that beer in that person's hand, that put the poison into that can, with murder, because that's exactly what it is. When you're walking around with 14,000 lethal doses of fentanyl, 28.5 grams, 1 ounce, 14,000 lethal doses, that's a potential murderer. And so I do think it's important that we have to educate everybody. And I'm thankful to the Didier family for doing that, because I do believe it's going to save lives, and we're never going to be able to quantify how many lives they've saved. I think Laura was just telling me a few days ago that I think she was in LA at high school rallies talking about fentanyl. Somebody's life will be saved, at least one life, probably thousands of lives. And so I'm very thankful for that. But I hope we can really come together. This is not like the war on drugs. This is a poison. They are poisoning you with the cyanide, and that's murder. And so I'm thankful for everybody in this body, because I'm assuming this is going to get unanimous support, and I hope this is transmitted publicly. I hope everybody is tweeting about this later, because I think my colleague identified it's not just fentanyl. There are other drugs hitting the street, and people have to know that there are poisons out there, and hopefully we can bring down the number. I don't want 110 deaths a week. I want 0 from these poisons. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.